I woke up this morning bored, so I decided to chop off my hair. So you already can tell that this is going to be a chaotic video. Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, That's Otaku. If you're new here, hi, welcome to the family. Over here we like to talk about anything having to do with anime, cartoons, pretty much anything having to do with animation, because we wholeheartedly believe that animated characters are way better than actual human beings, because duh. Every time you guys click that subscribe button, we are one step closer to getting to 1,000 people who are subscribed. And for all the people who have subscribed, like over 600 people so far, I'm just sitting here like, wow, you actually like my face enough to subscribe and support the channel. Thank you. And also, I took some time to look at my thing they call the analytics. Look at me sounding like I know what I'm talking about. Took some time to look at my analytics, and it showed that apparently the majority of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. Rude. Do your homegirl a favor and subscribe if you do like my face. If not, then well, that's okay. I can't really change it. So sorry, I guess. I don't know. I got bored in the middle of the night because my inner demons wouldn't let me sleep. So I just started writing a bunch of things that I find, like, you know, those are my little opinions here and there that are not generally popular. And of course, I'm trying to be a big YouTuber one of these days. And anytime you have an unpopular opinion, usually those get a lot of views. So let's try that for this experiment today, you know? And I also want to share them with y'all and see if you guys agree or disagree. Be chaotic in the comments. That's what I would like to read. I want to read all your chaotic comments in the comment section on my opinions. Leave your unpopular opinions. Let's just dish and talk about each other, okay? First unpopular opinion, I believe, and this is going to be wild coming from me, considering that I talked about Steven Universe forever. I have Steven Universe shield. I've cosplayed as Steven like 3 separate times at conventions. I believe that Star vs. the Forces of Evil is a better show than Steven Universe. I know, gas, but just hear me out on this. People talk about how Steven Universe doesn't really take that many risks in terms of completing the fact that just because you want to help someone, just because you want to solve everything with non-violence doesn't mean that that's going to work out that way. A lot of us are set on the fact that the way that White Diamond was able to just become good after just like 1 episode, even though they've been building for like the past like 3-4 seasons that she's kind of like this omnipotent being that has no feeling and doesn't know anything about humans, but just one look at Steven within the next 20 minutes and she's all of a sudden a good character now. We're just supposed to move on from that. That doesn't really happen in real life, but we know that Rebecca Sugar just wants everything to just like have a nice teeny tiny cleaned up ending, and that's okay. Star, on the other hand, I feel like it takes a lot more risk, and that's why I appreciate that show much more. In terms of like, one, they talk about different undertones in terms of topics. Like Steven Universe has to do a lot with identity, LGBTQ issues, and Star I feel like has a lot to do with racism, colonialism, straight up genocide half the time, and it's really fascinating. But I feel like Star takes a lot more risk, and a lot of people have been sleeping on Star, and I think it's because, one, the main character is a girl, and a lot of people don't feel like the need to like, oh, another girl character, unless you're a girl and you identify with her. A lot of people don't want to take the time to get to know Star, and they find her annoying, and I thought she was annoying too, but once you get past season 2, beautiful, radiant, fantastic, magnificent, all of those things encompass Star, and I feel as though it takes a lot more risk in terms of you're going to have consequences, you're going to have people that don't change their minds, and you just have to move on with that, and that is okay. So I think Steven Universe is great, I think Star is great, but because Star has some more consequences that are a little bit more applicable to real life, I think it's a better show. The next unpopular opinion I have is hustle culture is toxic, and most of y'all have no clue what you are talking about. You know when you're on Instagram and you always have like those weird obscure posts where it's like, if you are not waking up at 6 a.m., someone else is waking up at 6 a.m. and they got the bag and you don't. You sleep, you a sheep. Oh, you want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life? You not a boss. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't dream of labor. I don't dream of working myself to death. And not everybody dreams of being a CEO, boss, bitch type. No, I don't want to. It's mentally draining having to be your own boss and having to run your own business because you have no one else to answer to but yourself. You're in charge of everything. If you have employees, you're in charge of making sure that they have health insurance, that they get paid on time, that you're following the codes of the law. It's like, that's a lot of mental taxing work that not everybody wants to leave their 9-to-5 job where they don't have to think about those details for something else. If they're passionate about something and they want to go into becoming an entrepreneur or whatever, that's great for them. But this whole subculture of like, if you aren't trying to get out of your 9-to-5, you are a sheep and you're gonna be broken. You're never gonna, no. Leave me alone. Not only that, but half the advice that y'all be talking about in these posts and on Twitter and all that stuff, this is fraud. Like, I don't know the laws and I'm not a lawyer and I don't know nothing about finances, but like a lot of the tricks that you're saying that, oh, get you an LLC, do this, flip that, you're gonna put someone in jail. You're gonna put someone in jail over this, and they're gonna be sitting in jail being like, well, why did you do this? This is fraud, you know? Well, I saw some bro on this Instagram page. He was telling me to do this, and I thought that'd be a good idea. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. You're just shooting your mouths off, saying that you know a bunch of information when most likely you don't, and you're putting people in jail. Enough with the hustle culture. Let people do what they want. If you want to be a boss, sure, but like, let's just stop the whole, if you're not a boss and you're not trying to get out of your 9 to 5, you're all of a sudden a sheep. Like, let's please just stop this toxicity, because I don't feel like it. I know a lot of people don't like chocolate mixed with anything, except it's like chocolate and peanut butter, which I think is the best combination ever. But I'm a bigger fan of chocolate with mint as opposed to chocolate with fruit. Like York peppermint patties, I know a lot of people don't like chocolate and mint because it's like, oh, I don't like it because it tastes like toothpaste. I prefer mint over having chocolate with some weird fruit paste any day. Like if it's a chocolate covered strawberry, that's my jam. But if you're giving me some weird obscure chocolate with like an orange preserve that tastes like cough syrup, I'm not doing it. I don't like chocolate with fruit. Give me chocolate with mint any day. The next one we have is, if we're not talking about streaming services that are catered toward anime, example being Funimation or Crunchyroll, I think the best streaming service for anime watchers is Hulu. I know a lot of people say that Netflix is where it's at to watch a lot of anime, but Hulu gets slept on a lot, and I know it's because no one wants to pay to have nowhere ads. If you had the Spotify plan, especially if you're a student, you don't want to have to go through the extra work of paying extra for without the ads. I have ads, I get the struggle. But in terms of anime selection and in terms of the amount of options, especially for new watchers, Hulu's actually a pretty great service when it comes to the anime. Like, I was looking through Hulu my other day and I was looking for all the animes, like, oh, these are some titles that I haven't seen in a minute being talked about, especially if you're trying to find something that's like not as mainstream, a little bit more obscure, depending on what level of an anime watcher you are. Don't sleep on Hulu. And plus, Hulu is humble and they don't try to make up their own animes left and right that end up being crappy and no one asked for it. I'm looking at you, Neo Yokio. No one asked for you. If we're talking about the Avatar universe, and I mean Avatar The Last Airbender, not Avatar with the blue people, that's honestly a very long and overrated movie, and I don't know why they decided to make 6 more of them. But if we're talking about Avatar The Last Airbender, Korra is not as bad of an avatar as everyone makes her out to be. I think a lot of people had this idea that, oh, Korra lost her connection with the spirit world, so she's the worst avatar ever. No, 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 no. First off, yes, she messed up there. She made a lot of mistakes, but she's human. I think people didn't give her the chance to grow as a character as much as they did Aang. Let's not forget that when we first met Aang, he left for 100 years and a whole war went on throughout the entire world to the point that his own species was nearly extinct. Korra loses connection with all the avatars, but she ends up bringing back the spirit world, and the spirits are able to interact with humans again, creating a whole new level of spiritual connections with humans and the spirit world that hasn't been seen in thousands of years. Like, they both made mistakes. I feel like Aang gets a lot more forgiveness because, one, we grew up with Aang and we find Aang to be a lot more connected to our nostalgia point. Like, we grew up with them as a kid. But for Korra, I also think it's the fact that she's a woman and she's a woman of color and she's a queer woman of color, and y'all have a lot of biases that you need to work out through therapy, and that's why you don't like Korra as much. Maybe Korra's just terrible, I don't know, but in my head, I don't think Korra is as bad as everyone made her out to be, and I think you guys are just riding the dick of nostalgia. I think you guys are just riding nostalgia to the bank, and you're not getting that return. You're not getting that return, and I need you to change to a different bank. We need less isekai and more reverse harem anime back. Now, you already know probably that I don't have the biggest connection with isekai anime, mainly because I think there's too much of it. We are oversaturated in the market for isekai anime. Like, every anime season, you can have like 20 different anime, and at least 7 of them are some type of obscure isekai, and I don't need any more. I don't need any more. I understand that everyone's riding the success of not only Re:Zero, but when Sword Art Online came out, everybody decided to come out with a whole bunch of isekai, but I'm very much over it. I think we're done. I think we can take a pause and bring back some of the reverse harem anime. And that could just be because reverse harem has a special place in my heart, because I like implanting myself into storylines where I'm the center of attention, because it's all about me. Number 8, and this is a really unpopular opinion, and I feel like someone might get mad at me in the comments, and I'm hoping for it, that way we can have a discussion. I don't think we need any more characters to be made black. And hear me out on this. Remember those times in history after the Black Lives Matter movement kept going on, and everyone was like, oh, we're going to make this character black now. We're going to make this character black. We're going to make James Bond black. We're going to make everybody black. I don't need any more characters that were originally white or non-black to now all of a sudden be black. If anything, just bring us new characters that have been black from the beginning, because it seems just more genuine that way. Like if DC all of a sudden came out with a movie where Superman was now black, would I be mad? No, because like Superman's from Krypton and he's not a human, he's an alien, so he could be whatever color you want. But also I don't think that he needed to be black to be able to like show some type of progressive or show some type of solidarity with the black community. If anything, it would just make more sense to just have, you know, another Black Panther movie, which is coming out. Give us a Static Shock movie for live action, which I think they're coming out with. Just give us the more movies that were originally created by black artists, by black writers, and just animate and give us those shows and movies. I don't need any more major stories that were written by white actors to now written by white story writers to all of a sudden now be black, and then you butcher their identity. I'd rather just have black creators that have been making black art and black stories for years all of a sudden get animated by these bigger companies. That's what I would rather have personally. So no, I don't need any more black characters unless they're going to be original characters. You get what I'm saying? I hate the flavor coconut. I just don't like coconut. When you see someone offering you some like coconut candy or some coconut water, especially during the summertime, I get mad because I'm like, that's not the real thing. Just take me back to Haiti and give me an actual coconut. I don't know what it is about America, but like whenever you get some coconut water, like Vita Coco or any coconut water or coconut candy that's here, it just tastes off. It doesn't taste real, and I know it's not real. I don't know what the hell they're putting in it, but I'm over the coconut flavor. I don't like coconut on anything unless I'm eating an actual coconut meat or a coconut from the actual island. Just take me back to Haiti and give me a coconut. I would rather that. This is for all my Haitians. Hopefully there are some Haitians in the comments. Shout out to my Zoes. I am sick of the term fake Haitian. Use a fake Haitian if you don't speak Creole. Use a fake Haitian if you don't listen to class. Use a fake Haitian if you've never been to Haiti. No, I'm sick of this. I am sick of this whole divide that we have within the Haitian community, that if you don't not list off this specific criteria, you're no longer Haitian and your Haitian card should be revoked. I don't know what it is about us trying to be like, oh, you're fake, you're real, you don't know this, so you're not Haitian enough. Why do we have to give ourselves degrees on this? Why do we need to have this type of hierarchy to be like who's more Haitian or not? If we're all from the same blood, doesn't that matter enough? For example, for me, I've been called fake Haitian because I don't speak Creole fluently. Is now you calling me a fake Haitian gonna help me learn Creole anymore? Is it going to help me be any more Haitian in your eyes? All you did was what? Call me a name and I'm supposed to have like an identity complex for the rest of my life? What did that solve? Did that solve anything? No. So what was the point? We need to get that whole toxic vocabulary out of our community, because all that is, it just creates more and more divide, where Haitians of like, you know, from the diaspora, from the island, there's just more divide, and that's not going to do anything for the culture in the eyes of our oppressors, and that's not going to do anything for Haiti itself. I have a whole bunch of things that Haitians can do within the community and outside the community to just like be better allies to each other. But if we're talking about my unpopular opinion, I never liked the idea of calling people fake Haitians. I never thought it was funny. I never thought it was nice. I never thought it was useful for anything. It's not useful. I said what I said. And my last opinion, just because I said what I said doesn't mean you're right. And I know that's kind of pointing at myself, but you get the point of what I'm saying. Yeah, that's pretty much some of the unpopular opinions that I had. There's definitely more out there. I'll probably think of some as I keep going along. This is just a quick video because I was just rambling off at the top of my head in the middle of the night. So list some of your unpopular opinions down below in the comments. I'd love to read them. Get messy with it. Comment on my comments, please. And if you are new here, welcome to the family. Go ahead and trash talk me in the comments if you don't like my opinions, okay? Bye!